I've been looking at this one for 3 weeks. Every time I close the tab, I open it again. Which, I know what that means. I know what that usually means. But this one feels different.
What is it?
Mountain property. Black Hills. Brand new construction. Finished last year. Not a flip. Not a renovation. Almost 2,800 square feet. Ski area 10 minutes away. Listed 5 days ago. Nearly 500 views already.
Lot size.
It's in a wooded
Lot size, max.
third of an acre. The tree coverage actually...
I know what you're going to say about the trees.
You haven't heard what I'm going to say.
You're going to say the trees make the lot feel larger than it is, that the natural screening creates a sense of seclusion, that it functions like a bigger property even though it isn't one.
That's more or less correct.
It's 1/3 of an acre, Max. The trees are still on 1/3 of an acre.
Okay, let me just go through it properly. 2023 build, completed on site, not assembled from a kit, not a modular. Almost 2,800 square feet of actual living space. 3 bedrooms, 3 full baths. Northern Black Hills, Terry Peak basically next door. Serious winter traffic, skiers from November through March, and then real summer demand too. ATV riders, hikers, people doing the Mickelson Trail. 2 distinct seasons of occupancy. That's not common at this price point.
What are comparables doing for nightly rates?
Around $450 at peak, $400 in shoulder season if you price it right.
And occupancy?
200 nights a year is a reasonable conservative estimate. Some operators in this corridor are hitting 220, 230.
Okay.
You're not going to push back on that.
I'm doing the math. Keep going.
The construction itself, wood frame, metal roof. In mountain climates, metal roofing outperforms almost everything else. Better snow load, longer lifespan, less maintenance over time. You're not replacing shingles every 15 years.
Also loud in a rainstorm.
The guests this property attracts come back from a full day on the mountain and pass out by 9. Rain is white noise by the time their head hits the pillow.
The pillow in the 11 by 10 basement room.
We're getting to the floor plan.
I know. I've already been through the floor plan. And I have questions.
Main level is genuinely strong. I want to say that first because I think it gets lost when we start talking about the basement. Master bedroom, just under 200 square feet, 12 by 16, proper proportions. Living area over 200, kitchen 12 by 11, separate dining zone around 100 square feet. For one family, a close group of friends, a couple traveling with another couple, the main floor is well laid out and functional.
I agree.
You agree?
The main floor is fine. I made a note. Where are the other 2 bedrooms?
Finished walkout basement. 2 rooms, plus a loft that adds flexibility, and a wet bar near the back wall that gives the lower level its own...
The smaller room is 11 by 10.
Which is consistent with...
Have you been inside this property?
I've reviewed the listing thoroughly. Floor plan, photos, virtual tour.
Because I want to know if you've physically stood in that room, or if everything you know about it came from a listing that someone wrote specifically to make it sound good.
The listing description is accurate to what's shown in the photos.
That's not the same thing as standing in the room.
No, it's not.
11 by 10 is the floor plan of a walk-in closet, not a metaphor, the same square footage as a standard wardrobe room in a mid-range new build. Someone pays $450 a night to sleep in a room where a queen mattress takes up most of the floor and their luggage sits on the bed because there's nowhere else to put it, and the floor in that room is carpet.
Carpet is standard and...
In a ski rental, where guests walk in from the slopes, where boots come in wet, where gear drips, where road salt gets tracked across every surface. I'm not going to describe what that carpet smells like by week 3 of the season because we're a podcast and people might be eating.
The lower level as a whole has real character. The loft adds a layer of spatial interest. The wet bar means guests don't have to go upstairs every time they want a drink. The walkout gives direct yard access.
The wet bar is fine.
That's the second time you've said something positive.
I know. It's making me uncomfortable too. The point is, the listing is selling this as a property that sleeps 8 to 10 people. 2 of those people are in a basement room the size of a wardrobe, paying the same nightly rate as everyone else. That affects your review score. That affects your repeat bookings. That's not a moral argument. That's a revenue argument.
You could price it as a 2-bedroom with bonus space. Set expectations clearly. Some operators do that specifically to manage reviews, under-promise the basement, let guests be pleasantly surprised by the wet bar and the walkout, instead of disappointed by the square footage.
That's not a bad idea.
I have moments.
You have moments. It still doesn't solve the carpet.
2-car attached garage, remote-controlled door, plenty of space outside for additional vehicles, RVs, trailers, snowmobiles in December, ATVs in summer. The kind of guests who book a mountain cabin in the Black Hills arrive with serious gear and they need room for it. This property has room for it. That's a genuine operational advantage over comparables that can't handle trailers.
The access road.
Consistent with the majority of residential roads in this part of the hills. This isn't unusual for the area. The guests who choose a mountain ski property aren't expecting smooth asphalt to their front door. They're driving SUVs with real clearance because that's the lifestyle they're buying into.
Some of them. A significant portion of them. And then one family doesn't fit that profile and they're driving in from Omaha in a sedan and the storm comes through and the drift builds up on a private unpaved track and the tires spin and it's midnight.
You set vehicle expectations in the listing. You put it in the welcome message. You make it explicit at booking.
When has a guest ever read the full listing?
Actually answer that. In your experience, what percentage of guests read the full listing before they book?
Not the majority.
Right. So the phone rings, you refund the booking, you get a 2-star review that sits there permanently because Airbnb doesn't remove reviews just because the guest ignored the instructions, and no one clicks past 2 stars. I'm not saying it destroys the investment. I'm saying it's a real cost that doesn't show up anywhere in your gross revenue number.
It's a real cost. It's also a manageable one if the property is marketed correctly from day one. You can filter for it. Minimum vehicle requirements, explicit road condition disclosure, photographs of the driveway in winter conditions, guests who aren't prepared self-select out.
Or they don't see the photos and book anyway.
Some of them will.
Some of them will.
When they come back from the slopes though, and this is in the listing, I'm not making it up, there's a hot tub.
Yes! Let's talk about the hot tub. Outdoor hot tub. Nightly rates climb significantly because of it. This is documented. Guests filter for hot tub availability specifically. It's one of the top amenity searches on every major platform. You are leaving real money on the table without one.
Spa features above ground. That's the exact language in the listing.
Above-ground units are industry standard for short-term rentals at this price point. In-ground installation adds construction cost and permitting complexity that rarely makes financial sense on a rental property. The guest experience is functionally identical. Hot water, outdoor setting, mountain air, stars overhead. They're not down there checking the plumbing infrastructure.
Pingables, weekly. Filter cartridge replacements, monthly. Electricity to heat an outdoor tub through a South Dakota winter that runs constantly. It doesn't turn off between guests because if you let it go cold and then reheat it, you're waiting 24 hours before the next booking. And cleaning, someone scrubs it between every single turnover. Either you hire a specialist for that or you're doing it yourself. And at some point, and I'm being careful about how I say this because again, podcast, people are eating. A guest is going to leave it in a state that requires more than routine cleaning, and you're going to get a call about it.
Every rental property has operating costs. Every single one. If operating costs are your argument against this investment, then you don't actually have an argument. You have a description of how property ownership works. That's true of every property we've ever looked at on the show.
You're right. Costs alone aren't the argument. The argument is costs relative to purchase price, relative to the realistic revenue ceiling. That's what we're actually talking about. And I got ahead of myself. Let's do the number.
Let's do the number. County assessed this property at roughly $700,000 in 2024. Property tax for the year, just over $1,200. For new construction in a tourist market with documented appreciation, that's a structurally favorable cost basis to start from.
And then 2025 happened.
Taxes adjusted that occurs in every growing municipality. It's not specific to this property or this county or this state. You model for tax increases the same way you model for vacancy rates. You build in a range.
The assessed value went up 5%. Modest, reasonable, $741,000. The tax bill went up 509%.
What?
From $1,200 to $7,600, 1 year. No phase-in period, no warning letter, no adjustment over time, 1 year.
That's a significant.
509% max. I checked it 3 times because I thought I'd made an arithmetic error.
Mountain municipalities run genuinely high infrastructure costs. Roads, snow removal, emergency response for tourism traffic. The tax base has to support that, and when assessed values rise, the rate adjusts to capture it. It's not a conspiracy, it's municipal finance, and it happens everywhere.
I know what it is. I'm telling you what it does to the spreadsheet. And I'm telling you that when you modeled this investment, you modeled $1,200 in annual taxes, not $7,600. That's a $6,000 difference that came out of nowhere and will come again.
You stress test for increases. You model a conservative scenario and a pessimistic scenario.
Did you model 500%?
No. Nobody models 500%.
No, they don't.
$925,000.
Close to a full million. Wood frame house, carpet in the basement, gravel road, 1/3 of an acre.
At $330 a square foot for new construction in an established ski corridor. That's not an unreasonable ask. Comparables in this market are
$4,500 a month just to hold the keys before a single guest books, before a single light turns on in that building. Then the county takes another $7,500 a year in taxes. And we now know that number can move dramatically in any direction at any time without warning. Then insurance, which on a short-term rental property in a mountain climate is not cheap. Then HOA dues, because the Lost Camp Valley HOA covers utility access, and that's a monthly line item that doesn't go away. Then power. Then platform fees on every booking, 15% off the top before you see $1. Then cleaning crews after every single checkout. Then someone to plow that gravel access road through the winter, because if you don't plow it, guests can't reach the property and you get refund requests. Then someone to balance the hot tub chemistry every week. Then filter replacements. Then carpet replacement, because that basement carpet is not surviving multiple ski seasons of heavy use. All of that before the word profit is in the sentence.
90,000 gross, 200 occupied nights at $450. That's what comparables are doing in this corridor right now. Not a projection, not a hope. That's current market performance.
90,000, platform takes 15% off the top, 13,500 gone before it touches your account, 76.5 left, taxes 7,600, 68,900, utilities, internet, HOA covering water and garbage, 8,500, 60,400, professional cleaning after every turnover, snow removal on a private unpaved road, routine repairs and replacements because short-term guests are genuinely not careful with other people's property, 10,000 minimum, probably more in heavy seasons, $50,000. That is what remains after everything. Best case, no bad winters, no weeks of vacancy, no burst pipes in February, No guest who leaves the hot tub in a state. No midnight calls about a stuck car on the gravel road.
50,000 a year, 925,000 purchase price. That math takes 18 and a half years to resolve. Cash, no debt, perfect execution every single year.
You're not just buying income, you're buying a depreciating asset in a proven tourist corridor with documented price growth. The equity position over 18 years in a market like this is not trivial. You exit with a property worth significantly more than you paid.
Maybe, probably, even, I'm not going to pretend appreciation doesn't happen in ski markets because it does. But add a mortgage, $4,500 a month, $54,888 a year in debt service. Your net rental income is $50,000. You are $5,000 negative every year. You are paying out of pocket to own this building, while you manage the bookings and field the calls and deal with the carpet and wait for the market to eventually make the numbers work. And while the county decides what the tax rate looks like next year.
The appreciation case over a 10-15 year hold is real.
Maybe it is. And maybe somewhere around year 12 or 13, you sell it and the number is good and the whole thing works out. I genuinely don't know. What I know is that between now and then, you have a part-time job you didn't apply for, a gravel road that needs plowing, a vinyl hot tub that needs weekly chemistry, a basement carpet that needs replacing, and a phone that rings at midnight when something goes wrong. Call the county assessor's office. Ask them what the rate looks like next year. Then decide. Here's where I actually land. Honestly. The right buyer for this property is someone who has the $1 million in cash, liquid, no debt attached to it, and who wants a Black Hills cabin that mostly carries itself, uses it through ski season with their own family, rents it through summer while they're not there. No mortgage clock running, no ROI target to hit. The income covers the costs, and maybe a little more. And the property exists primarily as a place they want to own. For that person, this makes sense. Not as an investment thesis, as a property.
That's the most honest thing you've said today.
I peaked early, and I've been working back toward it all episode.
The construction is genuinely clean, and I want to say that clearly. 2023 build, on-site, no mystery behind the drywall, no roof that's been patched over and over and finally gives out in March. In a market full of 1970s and 1980s cabins with genuinely unpredictable maintenance histories, buying something new removes a whole category of risk that is real and significant. I put that on the ledger.
The demand is also real. Terry Peak isn't a struggling resort. The summer ATV market in that corridor has grown consistently. 2 distinct seasons of genuine occupancy. That's not manufactured.
The price is the problem, not the property, not the market, not even the floor plan entirely. The price at $650, $675, we're having a different conversation. We're sitting here saying decent asset, good location, clean construction, real demand. The basement room is small, but you price accordingly and manage expectations. At $925, you're paying for a dream that the actual numbers don't support.
And the gravel road.
And the gravel road.
And the carpet?
And the carpet.
The wet bar, though.
The wet bar is fine.
Northern Black Hills, South Dakota. Short drive from a major ski area. Full listing details, county tax records, comparable rental data, all in the show notes. Look at everything. Make your own call.
Look at the facts, nothing more. A big price tag doesn't make a deal better, not even with a hot tub someone dropped off a truck.